the clauses that are contained in the bill are okay, we will pass. If they are not okay, Mr. Speaker, then we amend them. And so, Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the committee's report, which has provided a raft of proposals in terms of amendments. Mr. Speaker.
Yes, who is on a point of order? Kawanjiku. What's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, leading the mood of the House and that under 95, after my good friend finishes to debate, we request that the mover be called to reply.
Overruled. Proceed. Chepkonga.
Thank you
order.
very much.
Order.
There's nothing.
Point order. What's your point of order? Yes?
The next one.
What's your point?
Yeah.
He's already on a point of order. What's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, this is a house of debate. And members must exhaust
order. Order.
Mr. Speaker, I have an issue.
Order. You don't have any order. 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 You are out of order because that issue has already been overruled by the chair. So what's your order, point of order about? Take your seat. Take your Chepkonga, order. Chepkonga, continue.
Yeah, thank you
Proceed.
very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to contribute on two matters. One, with regard to the
for the benefit of the House. Order. Order. For the benefit of the House. For the benefit of the House, I will repeat this, and I had said before. If the chair is convinced that the rights of even minority is being emasculated by calling for the mover to reply, the chair has the authority to overrule that. Order. Order. You go and read the standing order number 95 all the way to the conclusion, and you will understand it. Proceed.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to contribute on two issues. With regard to, I don't want to repeat what my colleagues have just said. With regard to Article 132(4) on the establishment of offices in the public service by the President, it is very clear, Mr. Speaker, that the President in his performance of his functions may establish an office in the public service in accordance with the recommendations of the Public Service Commission. Mr. Speaker, if the Public Service Commission has made recommendation, then that office will be established in accordance with the Constitution. Two, Mr. Speaker, as to whether a matter is constitutional or not, that is something that's supposed to be decided by a different arm of government. It is not incumbent upon this House to tell us this is a matter that is unconstitutional. We will be arrogating ourselves the powers of the High Court to make a determination as to whether a matter is constitutional or not constitutional. Our mandate, Mr. Speaker, is contained in Article 94 and 95 of the Constitution to enact laws. And if you look at our mandate, it is fourfold, Mr. Speaker. It is to legislate, to oversight, to budget, and to represent. There is nowhere, Mr. Speaker, we have been given the mandate to arbitrate over disputes, Mr. Speaker. So, with regard to the issue of making law, we are the House that makes law. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, with regard to establishment of offices, if people took time to read the report of JLAC, they would see that these offices are established for good reason. And one of the reasons why offices are established by the executive with the concurrence of the Public Service Commission is to enable the executive to recruit and to deploy the number of either officers or in this case the CSs that require to deliver the programs of that particular government. Mr. Speaker, you just don't walk into a government and you are hamstringed because you don't have the people. You look for the people, and the Constitution gives you the power to do so. Mr. Speaker, in our oversight role, it is incumbent upon us to determine as to whether we have allocated sufficient money under the budget or if the money is being used for the right purposes. That is our role, Mr. Speaker. It is not our role to curtail the functions of the executive. And, Mr. Speaker, I would like to say that, there are so many things that have been talked about, the purported people to be appointed as CSs. Mr. Speaker, it has been said that, in fact, failures have been will be appointed, people who lost elections. I don't know when losing election became a crime in this country. People lose elections. In the 2022, people lost elections. In the 2017, people lost elections. In the 2013, people lost elections. People have been losing elections from time immemorial, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Article 27(4) of the Constitution says, no person shall be discriminated on account of anything, including marital status, pregnancy, or even losing an election, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you cannot discriminate somebody on the basis of pregnancy, surely, even losing election, you cannot be discriminated, Mr. Speaker. Even on account of color, on account of color, Mr. Speaker, the only.
What's your point of order, Rafael Wanjala?
Mr. Speaker, you have heard clearly, honorable member, insinuating that this government does not discriminate against even women who are pregnant. And just recently, KRA discriminated against pregnant women in that department. And that is his government of Kenya, Kwisha, and HIV.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Speaker.
Proceed, Chepkonga.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In fact, the Honorable Wanjala, my very good friend, should have taken this legal advice from myself that if there was such a discrimination, he should activate Article 27(4), and you can take it to court. That is where those disputes will be arbitrated upon. But if you just talk about them here, we will do nothing. But please take it to court if there's been any discrimination. So, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, so what I was saying, Mr. Speaker, there is no Kenyan who will be discriminated against. And Article 232 of the Constitution clearly